Hi everyone, I'm Yvonne with Southern Designs and Finds, and welcome to my segment of Craft Round the Clock. Today I'm going to be working with some of the Walmart flocked bunnies. This happens to be the running bunny that was at Walmart, this beautiful sage green, and then they also have this the pink ones here and then the little white ones. And so we're just going to spruce these up today and just, they're cute the way they are, but we're going to spruce them up a little bit today. So come on in and join me. I'm glad you're here. Make sure you say hello. Good morning, Cheryl, and hey, Cindy. I'm running just a couple of minutes behind. You couldn't find me, Karen? That's weird. Well, I'm running a little bit behind, so I wasn't right on at, at 10:44 or whatever, like Miss Tracy wants us to be. So I looked up at the clock and it was 10:45, and I thought, oh goodness, so I had to go get my coffee. So, you got to have your important stuff right here, right? Good morning, Lisa and Irma. Good morning. So I'm glad you found me, though. Hey, Mary and Phyllis. So good to see y'all. Marquita, is it Marquita? Good morning. And Rhonda and Michelle and Sharon. Good to have y'all here. I'm kind of disheveled. I was running around here, so let me get a sip of coffee and we'll get started. Hey, Tracy. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. Yeah, I kind of grouped them all together this time. I just made a little grouping. Instead of having them scattered or in a dough bowl, I decided to put them on a tray and do some cabbage and little flowers and bunnies and kind of in the same tones, tones of that. So that's what I got going on. And thank you for sprinkling me into the group, Craft Round the Clock. Like I said in the beginning, I am in Craft Round the Clock being live streamed there in the group. I did tag the group in my description, so you can go on there and just tap on the Craft Round the Clock tag. It'll take you over there, and you can either watch it in there or you can join the group if you haven't joined the group yet. We'd love to have you over there. Good morning. You need a double espresso, sweetheart. Mary, I do too. I didn't sleep well. I went to bed late and then didn't sleep well. Mr. Wonderful had a surprise out-of-town thing he had to do. I knew he had to go to Holly Springs, Mississippi today, but I thought he was going to fly, but he couldn't get a decent price flight out or couldn't get it worked out. So he rented a car and he started driving last night. He ended up about 2 hours away from Holly Springs, Mississippi. So I didn't sleep well at all. So thank you. It looks like spring. I have had this forever, this little sweater, 3/4 sleeve sweater. I'm about ready to take it off. I'm burning up now. So anyway, y'all come on in. So we're going to be working, when I showed you in the very beginning of the live, I went to Walmart this morning. I broke down and went ahead and got the little pink one and the little white one. And they also had the tall ones. And they had them in the sage green, of course. But I had already bought the sage green like this one. So I got that one. And then they also had the pink, white, and green sage green running bunnies right here. So we're going to zhuzh up this little running bunny right here. He's close to me. Sheila, I wondered that. Is it Holly Springs where you're close to you? He was in Russellville, somewhere last night he stayed. He said it was about a couple of hours from there. So anyway, we're going to juice this up. So I've already gone ahead and taken off the little pick. These are cute. You can put them in flower arrangements just the way they are. No problem. Somebody yesterday when I was on my live suggested that you could even put a really cute decorative straw over that, and that would be cute too. So we're going to juice this up a little bit. Yeah, going to go check it out. I went by this morning and they didn't really have anything else new out, and they had put out more Easter candy and different things, or Easter decorations where spring I thought would be, but they don't have any spring out yet, so I don't know. So I'm going to be using, instead of that pick, I'm going to be using this dowel, and I buy my dowels. You can buy them at Home Depot and cut them yourself. They're more reasonable that way. But I get these from Dollar General, and what I like about it is it has your measurements right here, your diameter. So you can take this and you can look and see what the diameter is. And this one is 1/4 inch. And that helps me to know that for future reference, and it also helps me to know when I go to drill a hole. And so I like to get these. But I do have the dowel, long dowels that Mr. Wonderful buys, and we cut them. and that's Russellville, Alabama. I'm about 1.5 hours from Holly Springs, probably. Okay, yeah, that's where he stayed last night, Sheila. He just couldn't make it all the way. It was about 12 something. So anyway, good morning, Anastasia and Sonia. I'm glad to have y'all here. Janet and Cindy's Creations. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So anyway, I have my dowel and I want to cut it down, and I just didn't have time to do it, so we're going to do it here, okay? So I'm going to bring my little handy dandy Mighty Mite over here. This is my 4-inch Mighty Mite table saw. Mr. Wonderful got this from me at Harbor Freight. I use it. I don't use it, you know, a ton, but it's nice to have, and it's handy. It's, you know, small. So we're going to cut this down, and I'm trying to decide. I put a few measurements on here. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to do a 9.5 inch or a 10 inch. My other bunnies I did last year were 10 inch, but I'm thinking about splitting it in the middle and doing a 9.5 inch. You want one of those. They're handy when you need them, you know, they're handy. So I've even forgotten how to turn it on. Here we go. So let me put my shield down a little bit here and wear safety glasses, but I've got my glasses on, so make sure I got the right line, okay? So as easy as that. And when you're using saws and power tools, you know, make sure you're wearing safety glasses. And also, when you're sawing, don't force your wood. Just let it glide through, okay? Don't get impatient and force it, because that's when it can fly off, splinter off, and have an accident. Even with this little thing. You think this little thing is not powerful, it is. I mean, it only cuts certain thicknesses, but it'll cut your finger off, okay? So be very careful with that. And I'm gonna try this, and I'm just gonna see the height that I want, if it's gonna be too high. I'm hoping it's not. So I can always cut a little bit more off if I want to. But so I'm gonna leave this really quickly here and just see what I want to do here. So let me grab another sip of coffee. You love your little saw. I'm not very good at it, but using it. Well, Jay, just don't push it, don't force it. Anything that you saw, no matter what kind of saw it is, just let it go through, glide through. Don't push, you know, and try to rush it through, because that's not good, and that's where you can hurt yourself. You know, I've had spindles that I've cut fly off and hit me on the chin, or hit me, you know, somewhere, and on my, you know, knuckle, elbow. It doesn't feel good when it's, especially a larger saw, when you're using them, because at that velocity, you know, flying off, they hurt. They hurt. Hey, Pat, good to see you this morning, my friend from Unique. So what I did, and it's still not quite dry, I clamped it, but I bought these little things here from Hobby Lobby, Home Depot, in the molding section. These are little rosettes in the molding section. And I was going to use this one, but I felt like it was too big. I already had it. It was already done. But I had the guys out there that were doing the siding. I had them cut me a piece of wood. I walked around and found some scrap wood. I want to say it was a 1x6, you know, something like that. But anyway, I don't know what it was. But anyway, it was a board that I had them cut, a little bit thicker board, actually. They did a 1x6 first, and I wanted it thicker. So he cut me this one anyway to go with this one. And so I went ahead and bought a smaller one at Home Depot, and I glued the little piece of wood that he fixed for me. And it's not quite exact, you know, he had to cut it just little slivers, and I wasn't going to complain because he was so nice to cut these for me. Mr. Wonderful would have done it, but he was trying to pack and get, you know, go get the rental car and head on out. So Mr. John cut this for me, and I used some, I used this wood glue. Any wood glue will work. Any your Quick and Thick will work. You know, Type Bond. The Gorilla wood glue is what I used on it, and like I said, it's not quite dry. And then if you've got seams after you paint them, if that bothers you, you can take wood putty and put a little bit of wood putty in there and smooth it down and dry it, let it dry, and then sand it off if you want to. Thank you for that, Kefany. I appreciate you sprinkling me out there, sharing me out. You have one of the little saws, they're neat. So they're at Harbor Freight, little Mighty Mites. And I don't think it was much money. But hey, so anyway, we're going to use that. So I need to drill a hole in it, okay, because I'm going to put the dowel in it. So I'm going to just kind of mark where I think the center is, okay. I'm not like Mr. Wonderful where he measures both sides, both ways and all of that. I just kind of eyeball it, okay. That's just what I do. And I've always done that, except, you know, with draperies or something like that, when I'm having to do draperies for somebody or measure, then of course I need to be more exact. So we're going to drill this little hole. But for crafting and things like this, I just guesstimate. You like the Gorilla Glue? The wood glue is fabulous. It is, Patty Faye. You know, it worked out great for me. So I'm going to drill the hole now. This is power tool segment. I should have gotten on Friday and did my power tool segment. This is a little Ryobi that Mr. Wonderful got me a couple of years ago. It's battery operated. You just plug in a little battery. It looks like a little cell phone charger type thing, a little charger. And it works good. It's called Quick Turn by Ryobi. It's handy. It's got all my drill bits that I could, you know, need. This is a 1/4 inch drill bit, and that's what I need to use. Hi, Sherry. How are you doing? From Sherry's, oh, Sherry, I'm losing my mind. Sherry's Creations, Sherry's Crafting Creations. Sherry, Lord of mercy, girl. All right, that's what happens when you don't get sleep. So anyway, Pat, are you sick again too? I started getting that tickle and drainage down my throat last night and coughing again, and I thought, oh no, I'm so sorry, you're sick again. What is this, round 3 or 4? Oh goodness. So I'm going to drill my hole now, okay? And you just want to make sure you're straight up and down. I think that's enough, and then back it up, and let's get that. And you always want to hold it. Did you see how I almost forgot to hold it? So let's make sure that this is going to work. Yep, it's going to work. It's pretty secure, really. So I've got my hole drilled now, and I just want to see, and I went ahead and I drilled a little hole there as well for the bunny. I just want to see the height of it and see how that's going to look. I've got a cloche that I was thinking about putting it in. I got this cloche on my find. I need it a little shorter, so let's do that. Let's get it just a little bit shorter now. That was 9.5, so I'm going to go 9. Okay, let's see what that looks like. So let me look and see what 9 is. There. Okay, so I may even do 8.5. What do you think? So let me get it on. All you gotta do it. You're on round 5 since the end of October. Do you think it's a sinus infection that just keeps coming back they haven't gotten rid of? That's what I'm wondering about mine, if I need to go on round 2 of antibiotics or, you know, I don't know. I mean, it's just drippy, and I don't know, but I'm so sorry. I wondered if you were feeling bad. I really was. So let's just see. This is going to be, I think that's going to work out good. I mean, you know, this is just because I was going to put it in the cloche. Oh, yeah, that's going to work out fine. Yeah, if I decide to do that. So, all right, we've got that ready now. So let's get it painted up. This is just what I wanted to do. And, yeah, y'all pray for Pat. Are you running a fever, sweetie? So I forgot to open this ahead of time, so I'm hoping and praying it's going to open. I'm going to use the plaster paint. You could paint this any color you want. You could stain it, whatever, you know, you wanted to do, you could do. Okay, that's good. I had cleaned it off before, so that worked out great. Hey, Christine, good to see you, stranger. I haven't seen you in a while. Harbor Freight. Yes, thank you, Sherry. Sherry, put your page in there. Why can't I remember your page? Is it Sherry's Creative Designs? Anyway, as much as how long as I've been following you, who knows? At least put it in there for my benefit, okay? Hey, Linda. And let's see. Diane's on, my friend. How are you? Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and just give this a once over. And you know what? If some of this bare wood wants to show, that's fine. And I thought about staining it first, you know, a little darker stain, and then doing this same technique. And see how I'm just going to kind of leave it like that. But I didn't want it real dark, only because of my pastel bunnies. I didn't want a really dark shining through it. I could, but we're gonna do this, and this is gonna be the top, so it doesn't really matter, because I'm probably gonna cover this with some moss. Hey, Babs, good to see you. And Lola, good morning. Your husband is sick with a sinus infection too. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's not fun. It is not fun. I let mine go a little too far, I think, and at one point I thought I had pneumonia because I was coughing. My cough was always loose, but it was so loose that it was, you know, just taking my breath away, or not really taking my breath away. That's a poor choice of words. It was so loose that I kept coughing to try to clear it, you know, because it was just, I would wheeze. So I got a steroid shot, and then got the antibiotic and something for those Tessalon pearls for the cough. Jennifer, my daughter, said that has codeine in it. So I'm going to dry this real quick, and then we'll do the front. And it took a few days really to feel any different. But like I said, now last night it was draining down my throat again, and I was coughing from that, you know, tickling. So I took one of those quercetins that has antihistamine in it, the quercetin HP for high blood pressure, because those things tend to aggravate my heart, get my heart going too fast. So, I need to paint the back too. So let's get the back painted too. So I'm going to let me do the back, and then we'll do the front, because I need something to hold on to. I didn't get my turntable here, so let's get this going here. And like I said, I'm going to leave some of this just worn and chippy like that too. You don't have a doctor. Canada's healthcare system is in the crapper. Oh gosh, yeah, I bet, Pat. Well, you know, when we were on a cruise one time, we sat with some Canadians at our table every night, and they were telling us that at that time their health system was excellent. You know, they were happy with it. It was, but limited or something like that. I can't remember. But you do need to go to the doctor and get something. You know, I'm sorry. Thank you, Cindy. Hi, Gail. Thank you. This sweater is old. But I like it. It's pastel, and I'm in the mood to spring. And guess what? It is 19 days before daylight savings time. And I just think that's awesome. I'm going to feel better already, you know, just knowing that it's 19 days away. I like it when it gets darker later. You know, the days are longer with the sunshine. That really helps my mood. And, you know, you can stay out longer. You can take, you know, walks and things like that. So I'm looking forward to daylight savings times. So we will spring forward this week in 19 days. How about that? I wish they'd just leave it alone and leave it like that, you know, in daylight savings time. But I understand back, you know, forever ago, they did that for the farmers. In certain areas, you know, so that they could have light to do their chores, and in the morning as well, you know. So I understand that part of it, but I would like to have it that way. Good morning, Pam. Hey, Denise. Yeah, yeah, they're asking, Pat, if you have an urgent care you can go to. I wondered if you were sick because you canceled Monday and then you canceled today, I guess, because I didn't see you on the schedule. You're wanting one big snow. I do too. I don't want a big snow, but I'd like a decent snow just one time. We haven't had anything but a light dusting. So, yeah, I would like to have one. So I need to paint the dowel as well. So let's get that painted before I forget to do that. The same thing, I'm just going to not worry about giving it total full coverage. I'm going to paint myself into a corner here. I'll just give it kind of a worn, distressed look. I don't know why I'm worrying about getting the ends. That's going to go down inside the bunny and inside the block there. All right, so let's get that dry now. Texas was supposed to stay on daylight savings time, but so far they keep changing. I know it went before our Georgia house. Don't think it passed or nothing. I haven't heard anything about it, you know, so I don't know if it just got tabled or what. I don't know what the big deal is, really. I just wish everybody had the same times. Sure would be a lot easier for us crafters when we're trying to give you our times and give you the timetables and stuff like that. All right, so let's get the lid back on the that, and we're going to finish that off. This is where my hands get messy, just putting on the lid. Let me get that off, because I don't want to get it on my bunny. Our doctor told my husband I had to stay on vitamin C, D3, and zinc. Yeah, C, D3. Yeah, vitamin C and D are, and then the B's, you know, are good for immunity health too. And then of course zinc, you know. Zinc takes the taste away for me. If I take the little lozenges, I can't taste anything. But, you know, but yeah, that's what I heard too. You know, we got to kind of go back sometimes to what we were doing for COVID. So here's my block. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, I didn't want to distress it because I didn't want to chippy it and distress it because I didn't want to take away from that design. And sometimes when you get a lot of distressing going on, it does tend to take away from the design. So we're going to, I'm going to put some clear wax on this now. And the clear wax just acts as a eraser or whatever you want to call it. I mean, especially if you get too much brown wax, dark wax on, you can go back over it with clear wax again. And it just acts as an eraser. You can rub it off better instead of it soaking so much into the wood and getting it too dark. You have a little bit more control when you put clear wax on. This is made by Home Depot's brand called Behr, B-E-H-R, and it's just good a wax as anything else. I know some people use the Dixie Belle Best Dang Wax, and it's probably very good, I'm sure. But this is going to work and do the trick too. So, and I don't know how expensive that is, but this wasn't too bad. I honestly can't remember how much it was. I gotta get that out. I don't know what that is. Get that out. Take my bead reamer thing. That works for all kind of good things. But like I said, if you want to chippy it up, you can. I just felt like if I did that, it was going to take away from the rosette. All right, so I've got my clear wax on now. And this is by Behr, B-E-H-R, from Home Depot. This is the clear wax. So let's put the dark wax on now. You are in Florida today. I'm Yvonne in Florida today. I live in Michigan part of the year. Love your accent. Well, thank you, Yvonne. I love your name. So I'm a native Atlantan, And I live up in the North Georgia mountains, and so it looks pretty scary right now, doesn't it? Looks pretty scary. So let me get, I guess I could use the same baby wipe I used to clean my hands, maybe. If you've got a cloth, I would just use a cloth. But I want some of that to stay in the grooves. And just kind of highlight the grooves a little bit, the edges a little bit. Just to give it a, you know, just an aged look. So you should have a good opportunity to control what you get in there. That's nice that you can go to Florida part of the time of the year. That was our goal. My husband and our goal was to stay in Florida a few months during the winter, but he's still working, and because he could work remotely. But we're building that house, and every dime we're making is going into that house. So let's see how pretty that is. So if you want it just a little bit lighter, you can do that, and just kind of wipe it off a little bit. So I like that. That works for me. So let's go ahead and just do the sides here. Actually, this is going to kind of accentuate, which I didn't want, the saw lines, but that'll be okay. That'll be okay. It's just the lines where, you know, the wood that I use, some scrap wood from the house. But anyway, so yeah, see, that's looking really nice and rustic. And put that on there. And then wipe it back off. Just to your liking. Is that the bottom? No, that's the back. So I guess I did do the bottom. Well, the good. The bottom, that part where the saw lines is going on the bottom. So that worked out. So I think this worked out pretty good, actually, doing it this way. So see, it looks good. There's the sides there, and if I want to add a little bit more, I can. It won't look too bad, I don't think, with the pastels. And I could see where I had some wood glue, and it doesn't want to take too well with the wood glue. But, so I'm just looking to see. How about that? You like that? I could go a little bit lighter right in there. Wipe a little bit of that off. Not have it so dark. You can kind of take your fingernail and do that. And then if you feel like you got a little too much, you can always go back with your paint and do that. So I like that. I'm going to leave it the way it is. Okay. And then that dark wax seals it too. Hey Stephanie, good morning, my friend. How are you? That is the Vintage Pebble. Stephanie's a Vintage Pebble, very talented young lady. Yeah, it looks better with the wax added. Like I said, I just felt like I didn't want to, I'm going to do my dowel too. I didn't want to chippy it and do different things because I felt like that was going to take away from the rosette design. And I'm not sure if it would. You know, maybe one time I'll try it. But I felt like it might. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this inside this hole that I made. And you can use wood glue. I'm just going to just put some hot glue in here and do that. I think it'll be fine. And then we will put some glue inside the bunny here, and trying to decide which way I want it to go, which direction. So we've got that. But you know, this is just kind of what I wanted to do, was do my little running bunny and make a cute little post, you know, for it. So we have that, and I'm going to get me another sip of coffee here. Can you show the bunnies behind you? Sure, Mary. Let me show you while that's drying a little bit. There you go. So I've got, I added antique wax. I added, or dark wax, to these bunnies here that I got at Hobby Lobby. They were a little too white. You can get, I've seen some at TJ Maxx too, and then these metal ones came from Hobby Lobby, the vintage ones. And then the darker ones, I have various shades of different color bunnies, darker bunnies in here. And then the gray one came from Hobby Lobby, and so last year. And then some pretty antique rose flowers, and some snowball bushes, and some cabbage in there. Okay, so there you go. And the flock bunnies did come from Walmart. Thank you. They did. Our Walmart has them. They have the 3 bunnies. They have them in sage, pink, and white. And then they also have the really tall ones in sage, pink, and white. And then they have the running bunnies in sage, pink, and white. So I think we're good. So I'm going to take and, got a piece of string on that one. Let me show you what I've got. I'm going to take, I've already made it up, but I made me a little piece of, 3 little pieces of lavender. And then I took some of this, which I've got more in there, but this is sort of a dusty rose. I got at Hobby Lobby, just little fillers, you know, almost looks like baby's breath, but it's dusty rose. So I added those in there and wired it. I just went ahead and wired it instead of gluing it individually. And then I have some Sari silk, S-A-R-I. You can get it on Amazon, various colors. You can even get it in white now. This is an antique, it's an ivory. And it's, you know, the Indian culture from India, the women wear the sari silk. So I'm going to glue some of this like a collar around the bunny's neck. And I'm just going to actually put it around the bunny's neck. And then just sort of like a collar, instead of gluing it, instead of tying a bow, a complete bow, I'm just going to glue it. And let me get my scissors. It's really raggedy. You'll get a lot of strings and that kind of thing. So I'm just going to kind of put it up. I'm going to glue it right there. Maybe not. I'm trying to kind of make it wider right there. So anyway, so we're going to glue that on. Get my spatula. I mean, I could have, these are just little scrap pieces. I could have tied a whole bow. You know, I could have tied it with a bow. Not a problem. So, you know, wrapped it around and tied it with a bow. These are just some scrap pieces because I wanted it to be like it was wrapped around in a bow. But I didn't want to take off a longer piece. Just being frugal here. But it's not behaving. Okay, got that on there now. So I've got my little collar on there now, just little pieces of ribbon. And then I'm going to put my bow on there, my little sari silk bow. And actually I'm going to glue my lavender on there first. So let's glue the lavender on. And then we'll put the bow on. Okay, so I'm going to just hold that. And it's just a little spray, you know, little sprigs, basically. It's not a flower. Some of the flowers that I had were a little bit too big. So, thank y'all. Yes, I found them. Thank you, Diane. I did find them from my local Walmart. I sure did. They just started putting out spring. You know, last year they had all the bright colors, you know, bright pinks, bright greens, bright yellows. I didn't care for those, but I was so dang excited when I saw those come in, when I saw those in the store. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. So, look in here. I'm going to glue that now to the little bouquet of lavender and those little flowers, those little filler things, whatever you want to call them. Like I said, they have little strings on them, but that just makes it look even more rustic in my opinion. So there's our little, isn't that sweet? Just sweet. Just the lavender and the pink, dusty rose pink on there. So I have that. And I had a little button I was going to probably glue on there too. Let me look and see if I have any of my little vintage buttons here. It may not even need it. Let's see what this pink one looks like. I don't think I have a smaller pink one in here. Oh, do I? You know what? I got this little one. I don't know if it's, that's too big. They may be a little bit too big. So I may have to still go on a hunt here. I'm going to use it. I think it'll look okay. I'm just going to put the button in the center of the bow here. Oops. Get all my glue strings off. So there I've combined the pink and the green, you know, there on that. So I like that. I think that's really pretty. I'm going to just kind of trim off the, trim it off a little bit. I'm going to do one a little shorter than the other. And have my bow. Okay. So what I thought I'd do is, I'm running out of time. I didn't think I was going to need, I thought I would have more time to do all this. Thank you, Anastasia. So I'm going to just take some moss and I'm going to put it around the top here of this. Just add me some moss to it. Just like that. And then I'm going to take some, where are they? I don't even know where they are. What did I do with them? Now I'm getting in a hurry. Okay, here we go. Let me get these out. I'm going to put some little sprigs of lavender in those two. Just in the tops here, just little sprigs. Just kind of glue them in there. You could even do some small little eggs in there if you wanted to. I need to replenish my lavender. I hope Beautiful Things has got some because I don't know when I'll be going down to Hobby Lobby anytime soon. So, let's see. Where did you get the wooden block? This block, it's a larger version, came from Home Depot in the molding section, and I got the smaller section, smaller one, and then I cut the blocks to fit, and I used wood glue and got those, used the wood glue on there, and glued them together and clamped them for a little bit. So let's trim that up a little bit. I'll probably add me some leaves, but I want to give you the effect of what I want to do. I'm probably going to add me some of these little bitty baby's breath, lamb's ear leaves in here. So let's go ahead and get that glued on. I thought they looked pretty with the sage green. I'm just trying to get the smaller ones out. You're welcome. So let's put that one right there. Let me get another glue stick. But I want to show you what I kind of wanted to do in the cloche. I am going to zhuzh up the other bunnies too with some, what do you call it? The lavender. I'm going to zhuzh them up too and use those. But I won't have time to do that, so I'm going to put one more little small leaf somewhere. So let's see where I want to put it. I want to put it kind of like that, offset it. I guess I'll put it back there. And I'm just gluing it inside the side there. So let me get that. So that's what I have on the base. Isn't that sweet? Goes really nice with that. Nothing, it's just kind of understated. So let me show you what I had in mind to do with the cloche that I bought. I don't have time to paint it. I thought I would. I thought I was going to have plenty of time. I was really going to run out of time. But isn't that sweet? I like it. I just think that's so sweet. Just zhuzhing it up a little bit there. So I have my cloche, and I either have, I haven't decided what I want to do yet, but I have different options. But I'm going to paint my cloche. I was gonna dab some paint on there. Maybe I'll come back on later and do it. I have a charger. I have a burlap charger from Hobby Lobby that I thought I could sit it on, or I have the sage charger that I could set it on. So let me get this in there. And I got this cloche Friday when we were out junking, and so I just wanted to kind of give you an idea how you could display these if you got all three of them, and just kind of kept it in the flocked family, as you'd want to say. So I could do either one. I could do the burlap. I don't know if I like that or not. The bunnies came from Walmart. They sure did. The basket was just on one of my finds at Velvet Vintage, the cloche, that I want to paint. So she's going to do good, I think, in there. So what I thought about doing is taking, I obviously want to put some, moss down inside it, but I'm going to take my bunnies here that I went back and bought this morning, and I'll add little flowers, and I'm going to add some lamb's ear to these two and zhuzh them up a little bit. So I've got to decide whether I want the green or do I want the burlap. So let me think in the burlap, just for something different. So I'm going to put that bunny there, and I had thought about putting a book, but I'm not sure I got the room for it. But I might, just to give this little bunny some height. And let's see if that's going to fit. I don't want to overshadow. I might need a smaller book. I don't want to overshadow that. So let me get my little riser here, and we'll put that bunny on that riser, just like that, and put that down inside there. But I'm thinking about, I had thought about rusting it up, creating a faux rust, but then, why is it not, it's getting stuck on something there. Yeah, it's just the ears getting stuck, that kind of stuff. So I got to go in and play with it. But I have my little tulips. So let me, how much, I got some time here. I've got my tulips. Let me get my, anyway, I don't know where it went. So let me get some more of this. And the next tractor will be up right after me in about a minute. So I'm just going to kind of fill in a little bit with some moss and give it more of a natural look there. And I would do the back too, but for time's sake, I'm not. Okay. But anyway, you get my drift, what I'm trying to accomplish here, and I'll show it to you in just a second after I make my mesh. You could put it, I had a teacup here. I thought about putting some eggs in. Where are my tulips? Here are my tulips that I got at Walmart. You can get them in pink, and you can get them in ivory. They're like a soft touch tulip. These were at Walmart as well. So I would stick my tulips in there and just kind of cover up my stems. But I just think that's sweet. I gave my one little bunny some height. If it's going to work out that way, we'll see how it's going to work out. I got to get my bunny unstuck. And what I'd like to do, I think it's going to fit. And what I'd like to do, I've got to get it fit, is take something stuck. Get my bunny out of here. Whoops. Stay, buddy, stay. Gotta get you back up there. But you get my drift, okay? I've got to work on it to get it to close. But let me turn it around and show you what we have. I think it's just my bunny is caught in something there. So let me get my bunny back up there. Once you get everything in there, and it'll work out fine. Let me stick my hand in there and get it. Okay. It's not on there good. Get my bunny back on there. Maybe I just need to find something different for the height of that. Stay. Okay. So let me fool with it, okay, and get it the way I want. But let's see. I had another dowel. Let me see if I can't use a paintbrush. I know I'm run out of time completely. But my bunny's getting caught on the thing there. So, but anyway, you get my drift. Oh God. But anyway, I'll fool with this, and they're not cooperating. Hey, I gave you a home. You need to be cooperating with me. But do you see what I'm trying to accomplish here? I hope. So you've got your little bunnies, and you've got your tulips coming in there. You could use your cabbage if you wanted to. And then you've got your running bunny for height. And I just think it turned out sweet. I do want to paint this white. And then I will get everything enclosed like I need to do. You know, and get my bunnies turned the way I want them turned. And that kind of thing. So, you know, these old cloches are tricky. But once you get them in there, you get them in there. I could even glue them on temporarily. And I know they're feisty bunnies, aren't they? They're feisty. But you get my drift of what I was trying to do. But I think it'll fit on there. I just need to get it on there and fit it on. So that is what I have. So let me show you one more time. I know I'm late, but let me show you one more time what I've done. And I still think I like the book better. But I'll fool with it. But there's my running bunny right there. And then you've got your little bunnies. Maybe I don't need that. So you've got your little bunnies. And you just made you a little vignette with those bunnies. And I just think that's really super cute. Just using all the flocked bunnies. You can do them. Put the teacup in front. I could do that. So I could do that too. And then I could fill it with some of the eggs if I wanted to. I don't even have to use the cloche. But, so I could do that. And even have it kind of laying down like that. With some eggs here. These eggs came from Walmart. I do have the flocked eggs. They're larger. The flocked eggs are the same colors. So I could do something like that. And add me some eggs to these. These are all in the same color family. So let me get a small sage egg and do that. But it is, I want y'all to go on and go and watch the next crafter and do that. I could put some moss in there if I wanted to and just have them kind of coming out. You know, the sage and the pinks, doing that, and the whites. So anyway, let me do something like that. And then just have the moss in there, and it just kind of have the eggs spilling out, like so. I'm looking there, I'm working backwards. But you get my drift on that too, okay? And it would be really sweet. Maybe just the two bunnies and teacup and tulips. The two small bunnies. Yeah, I wanted to feature the running bunny though. I did want to feature that. I could do it like that and not have the have that. Or I could do just the two bunnies like that and the teacup. So, you know, because that would be, you know, an odd number right there. So, really sweet. I like that too. So various options that you can do. You know, that you could even put your tulips inside there, but these are really sweet. So I will tweak this and get it, or I might come back on later today or tomorrow and paint that close for you. No pink bunny, so the green can be in the middle. No pink bunny, so the green can be in the middle. So just the two, is that what you're talking about? Just doing the two? Like that. And then maybe the tulips or something like that. I've got the white tulips too. Is that what you're talking about? Doing something like that? I could do that too. I could do that. So I'm just going to play with it, and lots of options, right? So I love the combination of the sage green and the dusty rose flowers and things like that. But this gives you an option that you can do a vignette with your flock bunnies, okay? Even with a book or something like that. No, all three bunnies. Okay, I'll look and see. I'll run out of time. I'm way past my time on Craft Around the Clock, guys. So go and watch the next crafter, and I will tweak this and show it to you later. I may come back on live and show it to you when I finished it, playing around with it and different scenarios. But I'll get it done, okay? Thank you for joining me today and for all your ideas and suggestions. I appreciate that. I like it with the 3. Anastasia, I'll try it and just see what I have. I felt like it took up some space there, but I can try that. All right, guys, thank you. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.